on to you Leos out there? Hope y'all are having a great night or a great day. So for you Leos, you have the Hermit, the Six of Wands, and the Chariot. By the way, smash that like button. So for you Leos, I'm definitely seeing that a lot of you Leos are on your great discovery. And what I mean by that is you will be getting to know some new people, but you Leos will be getting to know some people on your own. I definitely see that a lot of you Leos are, here you go again. Y'all are becoming unofficial members of the Ghost Nation again. By the way, there's a link in the comment section below called the Linktree link. Click on it. It will redirect you to a website which has all the ways to be able to financially support the channel, so I can most definitely keep the show going. Shout outs to everybody that has come through. So the Hermit and the Six of Wands and the Chariot right here for you, right? This right here is really about how it is that you Leos very much so are not really interested in what other people have to say, right? And I understand exactly what these cards are basically saying, because what it's saying is it's basically saying, like, you know, those times, Leo, whenever it is that you hanging out with friends and you can't meet a significant other from hanging out when you're hanging out with your friends, because it's like they just cramp your style, you know what I mean? Or maybe you do get their number and like in their heads they're thinking about jinxing you or thinking about how it is that they don't want you to actually succeed with this individual. Yeah. Well, I mean you don't know what it is that they're thinking, obviously. You know what I mean? You're not a mind reader, but you're able to see that they have a problem with it, is the point that I'm trying to make. And I just see a lot of you Leos, like I said, you have unofficially joined the Ghost Nation because a lot of you Leos are like, you know what? You're going to be by yourself. You're going to hang out. You're going to talk to other people, get to know some people. And you're really not going to be worried about what other people got going on, really. You're just going to talk to them. And if they like you, cool. If they don't, it is what it is. But you really just want to get to know other people off of the strength off your own back. And yeah, you know, honestly speaking, that's really the best way for you to really get to know somebody else, right? The best way for you to get to know somebody is one-on-one. You know, don't be going out in these groups. And if you do, understand that you're going to have to break away from the group and talk to somebody. Because when you are out, believe it or not, trying to talk to somebody, truth be told, approaching somebody is really a solitary thing, meaning you're doing it as an individual. Once you start going out in packs or groups, right? Like wolves, packs, and you start trying to get to know other people, it's actually going to lower your chances, because some people will, like I said, some people will play a dislike. You know what I mean? They will play a dislike. They won't like the fact that you breaking away from the group to talk to somebody. And even if they do see you talking to somebody or what have you or whatever, they're going to try to embarrass you. Even if they don't do that, when you go back to them, they're going to be trying to get all up in your business, and they're going to be cramping your style a little bit. You know what I mean? They're going to be telling you, they're going to be trying to tell you about what it is that you should be doing, right? The ones who don't really know the game, they're going to be telling you about what it is that you should be doing, trying to give you terrible advice, right? Some people out of that group not going to know what they're doing. Some people going to be telling you terrible advice. So it's all just things like that. And that's the thing that you Leos really are like kind of going against and deciding that you don't want to have to actually interact with people who move like that. Yes, you're still going to have some friends, but I definitely see that you Leos are taking a much more serious approach to how it is that you actually go about trying to get to know other people. The Chariot here represents, and a lot of you Leos are going to definitely take advantage of the opportunities that you have. No more of this trying to act like you don't know what's going on, right? Not saying that you Leos was doing that, but no, the point that I'm trying to make here with that is you're not playing a game in the sense that you're trying to sit back and wait to see if the person is interested in you or not. Because essentially, that's the game of the majority of what's out now. Everybody's trying to act like they too cool for school. And I definitely see that you, Leos, being the exact opposite of the zodiac sign Aquarius, is most definitely going to march to the beat of your own drum. A lot of you Leos, you know, because of the fact that, and that's another thing too. Whenever it is that you march into the beat of your own drum and you really serious about trying to get to know somebody, you always have some dump truck in the back, some dummy in a peanut gallery, always talking about how it is that you thirsty. And when you look up the definition of thirsty, right, in a slang term, right, at one point, I don't know if it's the same definition now because they may have changed it, but at one point it means serious with intention. So this is the stupidity of it. People who are serious about actually getting a relationship established are thirsty, right? That's meant to be some sort of insult. It's meant to be some sort of derogatory term. But what is not being thirsty? What is being quenched, essentially? Not being serious when it comes to relationships. So you see how stupid it is? You know what I mean? You see how stupid it is? Anyway, the Death card and the Nine of Wands is all about how it is that I definitely see that you Leos have become way more mature. Now, again, not saying that you Leos are immature. But what I am saying is you Leos are a lot more clear about you needing to change a couple of things. And to trying to act like you too cool for school is definitely what was hurting you. So I see that a lot of you Leos have changed your perspective on being serious when it comes to trying to get to know somebody. A lot more of you Leos are trying to become way more active when it comes to approaching people and doing an investigation, right? Trying, you know what I mean? Like, investigating them, trying to find out what's going on, asking them questions, And then the next thing you have is the Seven of Pentacles and the Ten of Wands. The Seven of Pentacles, okay, and the Ten of Wands over here is all about how you Leos, then the ball will be back in their court. And if they're not really serious when it comes to trying to get to know you Leos, then it will show, because you Leos are actually applying pressure. And what I mean, see, a lot of times when I say apply pressure, I mean show just how serious you are with your words and your actions. And a lot of times people can either, like I said, one or two things can happen. A person can either crack up underneath the pressure. That's one thing. Or they can do better. So they're either a pipe or a diamond. They burst under pressure. You know what I mean? Anyway, but if they're not really serious, guess what? The Nine of Pentacles. That's my cat down here. You're okay anyway. Because the Nine of Pentacles represents, even though you're serious in intention, because sometimes people misconstrue that too, Leo, right? Not just with you, but with anyone. Sometimes people can misconstrue the idea of that you are serious about actually trying to get to know somebody, and misconstrue how serious you are with, oh, you desperate, you really don't have other options, you weak. And that's not even really the case. It just means that you're not interested in trying to play the game is all. But either way, the Nine of Pentacles represents for you Leos that a lot of you are not going to be taken advantage of anyway, because that's one of the things that stops you. That's how you end up stopping yourself from getting taken advantage of, is actually having other priorities in your life. Getting your spirituality correct is how it is. It's how it is that you actually deal with that issue. And what I mean by that is what I mean by that is, right, using myself as an example, I don't necessarily get so caught up when it comes to dating and relationships nowadays, because for me, I have other priorities, right? I have priorities, my health, my family, you know what I mean? Things that everybody should be prioritizing. But my health, my family, this YouTube channel. So, you know, my investments. So it's like, you know, those other things that draw my attention to them, including my own self. See, a person can only take advantage of you, Leo, when they are the only thing that you've got going on. You know, when you give this person 100% of your attention, 90% of your time, and then you just squeeze in the rest of life in a 10%, that's when your life turns into disarray. But when you actually have the propensity to be upstanding, right? Right? Regardless of whatever it is that you into, then when someone tells you that they're not interested or they're playing games with you, it's not as messed up as you think. And this is another reason too why it is I'm such a huge advocate for not necessarily talking to people who I'm romantically interested in every day. It's because they become distractions. They're so desperate for attention. It's crazy. Like the desperation to be seen every single day, instead of them playing into what is naturally coming to them, right? Like me, still using myself as an example, this is something that I thought of. I'm a Sigma. I will never be that type of individual where I'm the alpha. That's not my shoes. Can I step into a leadership role and be that center of attention? Yeah, but that's a temporary role for me. I'm not interested in being that forever and ever and ever. That doesn't come natural to me, right? That water does not flow downstream in that way, right? Asking me to be the alpha and constantly be, caught up with having to be the center of attention, have my name in everybody else's mouth, and have them thinking about what it is that I do. That's a bag that naturally comes to other people, right? So me being a Sigma, right, I'm playing into my own natural attributes and allowing that water to flow downstream. In other words, I'm allowing an element of my life that naturally works in this way, and I'm going along that kind of easy current. I'm not fighting against the current to naturally go downhill, to go ice skating uphill. I'm not going to be the center of attention. And the same thing goes for you Leos. You shouldn't have to fight against that type of attention. Whenever it is that someone isn't giving you that kind of attention, you have other things going on. And like I said before, this is why I'm so opposed speaking to the significant other every single day. I'm strongly opposed to that. Unless the person is seeing you, and they're living with you, then you kind of have to interact with them every single day, right? And in that case, if that's what it is that you're going to do, you shouldn't really have to have a problem with that, because you're supposed to already come to the conclusion that if they're living with you, it's only natural you're going to see them every day, right? Or very often at the very least. And yeah, so with that being said, you know what I mean? With that being said, when you don't give someone your full attention, that's what happens. Anyway, the Two of Cups and the Queen of Wands now is about how, so a lot of you Leos, right, the person that you can end up giving some attention to, right, this is really what it is that you're looking for. Someone that you can essentially give your attention to without essentially being distracted. Because too often times, real talk, dating and mating today can really end up being distractions. Unfortunately. And what I mean when I say they can end up being distractions, I mean just that. Because you Leos will find yourself trying to actually get to know somebody. And how many times are they trying to occupy all your time? And you're like, yo, come on, chill out. You know, you're trying to live your life and continue to be the person that has these different areas of life working well for you. And all of a sudden you have all these same situations where this person is just taking up so much of your time. And if you ask me, oh, and this is what it is that I wanted to say to that, I kind of, forgot about for a few seconds. This is something that I wanted to say. Anybody that doesn't understand that is not necessarily the person that you should want to be with, because those are the type of people where that you interact with them and they essentially want to be your entire world, and they're smothering you. They're trying to obliterate who you are inside of who they are, because they don't respect your distance. They don't respect the fact that you have other obligations and you give your attention to other places. That's another reason too why it is that I do not personally, y'all can move in, y'all can do whatever it is that y'all want to do. We are adults at the end of the day. But personally, I don't want to live with somebody, because for me, I've seen it far too many times where, again, the Two of Cups comes up, where it's like the person doesn't understand to give me space. If you want to talk to me, and often, you don't have to talk to me every single last day, every single day, Monday through Thursday, every single day. You either coming over at my house, texting me, or calling me. And then we spend for hours and hours and hours on the phone, stuff like this. Then when you know what I'm saying? Like, have some respect for my time. Have some respect for your time. If you want to ruin you know what I mean? Like, if they want to ruin their life, talking their life away, allow them to do that. Do not spend your time talking on the phone forever and a day, Leo. And if a person does not respect you, and this is something that I'm learning myself too, is to be more cold about my time. If a person, hang out with them, talk to them, and see if they respect your time. Talk to them like twice and see if they respect your time. If they do not respect your time, then you have to essentially leave them be. Because this is another reason too why it is I'm such a stickler when it comes for time. Because you have people that will stay up on the phone with you, talk to you forever and a day, and won't get anything established, Leo, right? No kind of reaching any kind of milestones with you. No kissing, no romance, if you know what I mean. Overnight romance, right? No anything. But then these would be people that'll just be talking to you, and you're like, what are you doing? And they want you to wait, and they're coming up with all of these excuses about how shy they are and all this other type of nonsense, which makes no sense whatsoever, But then the Queen of Wands represents how you need to remember how it is that you are. You find that this person is taking a little bit too much time. Anyone, that goes for anyone, stay away from them. You don't even have to tell them that you're not talking to them, okay? Some of you Leos may be even going through that right now, where you are learning from your mistakes. I know I'm learning from mine. One of the mistakes that I have learned very recently, as early as a few days ago, last week, I would say Saturday, is that for me, I now have a newfound level of self-respect as to why it is I do not want to talk every single day. And I'm also going to be peeping game to see if someone respects my time enough to let me go. Because I'm going to be peeping game. I'm not even necessarily going to say anything for a little bit. And then if I don't see them actually respecting my time, because I'm not saying that they got to rush me off the phone, but I'm saying that 2-3 hours and stuff like this, I'm gonna sit back and see if they respect my time enough to be like, oh, okay. If they don't do that, I'm gonna do it once or twice with them. And if they don't have enough respect, I'm gonna just go ahead and keep my distance. We'll talk. But the next time we talk and continuing to move forward, I'm gonna cut them short. You know what I mean? I'm gonna cut them short for like a couple of minutes. I'm gonna cut them short in a couple of minutes. I'm gonna give them like 10 to 20 minutes, somewhere there. But I know it's gonna be shorter. So let's clarify the Queen of Wands, Page of Cups, the Knight of Wands, Ten of Swords, the Ace of Swords, and then the Five of Cups. So to clarify the Queen of Wands. So, it's just that, to be honest with y'all, to go even further, sometimes I like to, that's a whole other topic for another day, but sometimes I like to stay up on the phone, hanging out, talking with people and stuff like this sometimes. At least I used to, because, I'm solitary. So to talk to somebody, you know what I mean, stuff like this, that knows me from doing this, stuff like this, that's cool. Because I don't really have a whole lot of people to talk about like this, as far as spirituality and stuff like that. But I'm coming to my own realization, Leo, that I shouldn't even do that. Because at the end, it's not to say that I can't talk to them, right? And you can't do the same. But what I'm realizing, right, that I'm trying to bestow and give you Leos the game on is that ain't even, no matter how much you may like to actually get a chance to talk to some people sometimes, that ain't even necessarily the best thing for you to be doing. Because then this person sometimes people want to make it into a habit. And then that ends up being a terrible scenario for you, because this person, right, it ends up being a terrible scenario for you because you missing out on time. And this person ain't really trying to actually do anything and not making it worth your while like that. So the Ace of Wands now, the Page of Wands and the Knight of Wands now represents. So you Leos have to remember that whatever tune you march into, whatever it is that you Leos are doing, stick to that, even if it ruffles other people's feathers and it gets them upset. The Ten of Wands and the Ace of Swords now is about how, because the situation for you is that you have other things that you've got going on, and you can't afford to be squandering it on people who move like this. Some people who only understand your value, Leo, now that you're not with them. Because that's what some of these exes are dealing with right now. They understand your value only until you Leos actually left. And you're not talking to them anymore. And you have unofficially joined the Ghost Nation, right? In the sense that you're not in their life. You're not talking to them. You're not contributing anything to them. You and this person have no connection because you went radio silent.